In the easternmost end of Canada, you will find the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. It's comprised of two regions: the island of Newfoundland, the province's sole namesake until 2001, and the continental Labrador, which kinda looks like Newfoundland except mirrored. There are a handful of nice flags in this province, so let's see what they are. The first flag we should look at is the Provincial Flag, of course. Right off, we notice it has such an unconventional design, even looking like an abstract painting. In fact, its creator was the Newfoundland artist Christopher Pratt, who decided in 1980 for it to be adopted on June 6th the same year. The design is based in part on traditional Beothuk and Innu ornaments. The portion with the blue triangles represents the Commonwealth history of the province and how it resembles the Union Jack. The fly part of the flag, larger than the hoist portion, has two triangles outlined in red, which represent both the mainland territory of Labrador and the island of Newfoundland. There's also a golden arrow between both triangles, pointing towards a brighter future, and it doubles as a sword when hung vertically, honoring the sacrifice of war veterans. The three elements together make the shape of a trident to represent how important the resources of the sea are for the province. Each color has its own meaning as well. Blue stands for the sea and waters, red stands for the effort of the people, yellow stands for their self-confidence, and white stands for the ice and snow. There's another flag which might come up first to mind when someone mentions Newfoundland: the pink, white, and green tricolour, unofficially considered the flag of the island of Newfoundland. There's a lot of discrepancy about the origin of this flag, although the colors have been traced back to the late 19th century, being used by the Catholic-established Newfoundland Fishermen's Star of the Sea Association, and the design is said to have been inspired on either the Irish tricolour, then unofficial, or the flag of the Newfoundland Native Society, which was used in the mid-19th century. However, there's a legend which says that there was conflict between the Protestant English and the Catholic Irish in the 1840s, which grew each spring with the wood halls at St. John's, today the provincial capital, to supply wood to their respective churches and institutions. The Irish marked their wood piles with green flags bearing the Celtic harp, and the English did the same to their piles except with pink flags bearing a fir tree. And so, Bishop Michael Anthony Fleming was called in as a peacemaker, and he created the tricolour by tying both flags to a white handkerchief as a symbol to unite both sides of the conflict. But this story has no accordance with historical evidence, particularly in how I mentioned that the flag originated decades after. The color symbolism isn't all that well documented either, but the consensus is that pink represents celebration, as per its liturgical meaning according to a lot of Christian denominations, and white represents the namesake of the association that gave its color to the flag, Polaris, the North Star, also known as the Star of the Sea. Even then, there's not an agreement on what the green represents, but the legend of Bishop Fleming, as well as the poem The Flag of Newfoundland, written by Archbishop Michael Francis Howley, attribute its meaning to St. Patrick and by extension Ireland. Sucks that such a nice design has so much mystique behind it. Next, we should take a look at Newfoundland's counterpart, the mainland region of Labrador. The origin of its flag dates back to 1974 by a group who decided that the Labrador portion of the province, with only 6% of the provincial population, needed a flag of its own, seeing how the provincial flag was just a boring Union Jack. This group was led by Michael Solomon Martin, who represented the Labrador South electoral district in the Provincial House of Assembly at the time. In the flag, white represents the snow, one of the main elements that shape Labrador culture. Green represents the land of Labrador, which unites the people, and blue represents the waters, being the basis of their economy as the home of fish and other wildlife. There is a twig of black spruce on the canton, black spruce being the provincial tree. It has 2-year growths, the inner ones representing the past and the outer, longer ones representing the future and their hopes for it. Additionally, the 3 branches represent the 3 races that make up modern Labrador: the Innu, the Inuit, and the white settlers. In the north of Labrador, there is an autonomous area claimed by the Inuit of the region, which was established in 2005. Its name is Nunatsiavut, which means our beautiful land in Inuktitut. Of course, they would adopt a flag to represent their territory, and it looks like this. It depicts an Inuksuk, a stone landmark built by the Inuit among other peoples of the Arctic region of North America, of course in this case represent the Inuit. The colors of the Inuksuk mirror those on the Flag of Labrador, even being unofficial, so it's logical that they share the same meaning. Finally, there's a linguistic group of people from the province which have a flag we can highlight, the Franco-Newfoundlanders. They're not a very large group, considering Newfoundland and Labrador is so linguistically homogeneous, with 97% of the population reporting English as their mother tongue. But like every group of French Canadians, they have their own flag. In it, the blue, white, and red obviously recall France, divided up into unequal panels. There are two sails in yellow, color taken from the Acadian flag, in which it represents the Roman Catholic Church. These sails represent the first fishermen that got to the Newfoundland and Labrador territory of French, Breton, and Basque descent, and they also represent progress. The top sail is charged with a spruce twig like the one in the Labrador flag, as the black spruce is the provincial tree, and the bottom sail is charged with a pitcher plant, the provincial flower.